The TorbayHour Radio Show, brought to you by the Babacom Inn Christmas Party Nights.
Good evening, it is 8 o'clock. It's the TorbayHour Radio Show. Hi, it's Rick Edwards here. Martin is in the studio as well.
Good evening.
We're also joined this week by another very special guest. We're so lucky at the moment, we're having great guests every week. Maureen McAllister is here as well.
Good evening.
Good evening. Hello. We will find out all about what you do. I think half of the country already know what you do because you work with them, which is incredible.
Think so, yes.
She's a very busy lady.
You trade secrets tonight, then?
Yeah. Well, hopefully, yeah. That's the reason we drag you in. Although you haven't bought cake, so that's a bit of a problem.
Next time.
We will of course have our 140-second tweets. We'll also be chatting with our account of the week very soon as well. And the show is interactive. We want to hear from you. The easiest way to do it is, of course, via Twitter. You already know if you're sort of taking part in the Torbay Hour what the hashtag for that is. But Martin is now going to run through all of the contact details.
So you've got the hashtag TorbayHour. That's what I'm monitoring tonight. You can chat to us on @Torbay_hour. James is monitoring that. Or you can just tweet and hopefully I'll find it.
It's as simple as it is, yes. Now, also, you can get in touch with us via email, studio@themusicmill.co.uk if you want to send a direct email through to us. If you've got any questions, also, if you've got suggestions for things for us to talk about, for guests to get in as well. Of course, we're coming up to Christmas now. There might be a whole kind of load of seasonal things which people want to talk about in the run-up to Christmas. I can't believe I've just said that. I really can't.
Hey, we've got letter from Santa on it anyway already, so
really?
Yeah, Santa's already writing his letters, so there you go.
My goodness. And also, if you just want to shout out on the radio to say hi to people and talk about your business, let us know via Twitter, and we can, of course, do that. Shall we get straight on with our account of the week this week? Should we do account of the week?
Yeah, baby.
The featured accounts with the Works Torbay. Flexible, affordable workspace. A new way of working and doing business.
Okay, it's time to get our featured account on this week with Riviera Wellbeing. Phoebe is representing them. Phoebe, where actually are you?
Yeah, we're right in the town centre, so very convenient. Sort of tucked in behind the Lime Tree pub.
Right, I got you now. Got you, lovely. Now, so this week, I think by coincidence, is actually back fitness or back wellness week, is it?
It's Back Care Awareness Week this week, yes. It's quite Twitter relevant, actually, because it's focusing this year on sedentary lifestyles, aimed at kind of looking at all the people who spend too much time sat in front of computers and the like.
Well, that's most of us.
That's me.
Yeah, I was going to say that's most of us.
I know, because sadly it's not very good for your spinal health, but there you go.
Well, and posture as well is the other thing, because I find myself, I'm sitting up straight now. I've suddenly decided, right, that's it, I'm going to sit up straight.
Funnily enough, I have that effect on people.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So the way you sit, especially if you're using a computer in an office chair and stuff like that, it's incredibly important, isn't it? Otherwise you'll stand up and you'll suddenly feel, oh my goodness, I can't walk.
Well, absolutely. I think a lot of people especially who work with computers and in desk-based jobs, they find that they can spend several hours at their desk without moving, and then suddenly, like you say, they stand up and they're feeling very stiff. The other thing I think is a massive problem these days is laptop computers, which kind of encourage you to sort of hunch down and look down at your screen, and also tablets, which make basically you have sitting on your lap and just staring down at them. So we see a lot of sort of neck problems and shoulder pain as a result of that. So yeah, how you have your desk and workstation set up is really crucial actually to how comfortable you are in the long term, really, as we all spend far too much time doing it.
Give us some basic tips. If you're going to set up your workspace sitting in front of a computer, what should you actually be doing as a first point?
Well, really, I mean, one of the most crucial things that you can do if you're working in that environment is to get your screen at eye height. That basically encourages you to have much better posture generally. So if you're working on a laptop all day long, if you can actually get a separate keyboard and get your laptop and your screen high enough up, so even if it's on a couple of Quality Street tins, it's a very kind of cost-effective solution to bump your screen right up so that you can see it at eye height. And propping yourself up with cushions from behind, if, for example, you're sat on, if you shouldn't be on your sofa, but that's it, a bit more support to the back. If you can have a kind of a proper designated office chair and set yourself up properly at a desk, obviously that's much, much better for you if you're doing it for kind of hours on end.
Now, you kind of touched on it there. One of the things which I found as well, especially with the advent of tablets, is you end up slouched on the sofa watching telly with one foot up on the sofa and slouched
Yeah, especially during TorbayHour, yeah.
Well, no, because you're listening to the radio during TorbayHour. That's fine. You don't have to look at the screen. So, but you've got your feet up, you're slouched on the sofa, you're doing the tablet as well, and your posture gets even worse that way.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, we're none of us are very good. I mean, a very general rule is if you could get up and move around every 20 minutes or so, it does your back and the rest of you just a world of good. So basically, there is a little rule that is that 10 bad positions are better than 1 excellent position. So basically, shuffle about the place, but get up and move whenever you can. That's really a kind of quite a crucial point to remember.
Assuming you're looking where you're going, because that's the other thing. If you're walking down the street slouched over your mobile phone and you're sort of bumping into lampposts and things.
You can't get away from it these days, can you? That's the trouble.
No, and interestingly enough, there was a thing in China on the news a couple of weeks ago. They've actually now got a lane on some of the pavements in one of the cities just for people. Just for people using mobile phones. You end up. How many times do you walk even around the streets around here, and people are just sort of hunched over looking at the screen on their phone?
Well, I think with the advent of Twitter becoming so popular and all these other social networks, people just live through these devices. And it's not just about work anymore. It's about socialising and interacting with other people, which is what's so brilliant about them, but which also makes them very much a sort of 24/7 commodity. We're in them all the time. So, yes, it's even more important if you can to take a break from it once in a while when you're obviously not doing something useful. Step away from it, stretch your legs, stretch out. It's much, much better for you if you can have a little wander around.
And I guess the other thing as well is going back to if you're out and about in the car, if you're a rep or something like that, the other thing is sitting in your car for hours on end.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and when you talk about kind of posture and at a workstation, it's as important in a car to have your car sort of set up accordingly, to have your car seat sort of tilted forward so that your hips ideally are slightly higher than your knees. So those people out there who are fortunate enough to have sports cars, they're probably one of the worst positions that you can have, whereby your sort of standard 4x4 actually encourages you into a much better posture. Obviously, nice kind of premium model cars have lumbar supports and all these other lovely bits of technology that help. But again, it's about taking regular breaks. You know, we were never designed as a human being to sit for long, long periods of time. We were designed to sort of run around, catching a rabbit, cooking it over a campfire, squatting down, all of those sort of Neanderthal principles that really don't encourage us towards good health as modern man, and we're turning back into sort of the troglodyte phase. I think probably lots of people have seen that picture where, you know, modern man has evolved into kind of Homo erectus, and now we're deteriorating back into the sort of sofa-dwelling, computer-dwelling creature that we are today, and it sadly comes with a whole host of problems, which is kind of where the likes of us come in. Well, certainly in terms of Back Care Awareness Week is what they're trying to raise awareness of at the moment, yes.
Which brings us neatly back to what you do and where you do it. Now, I'm assuming that as a business, it's not just people turning up on the front door and saying, I've got a bit of a bad back. You also offer services to business.
I mean, as a chiropractor, obviously, I started the business, my husband and I started the business. We recognised that there was a real need at the bottom end of Torbay to provide a centre dedicated to kind of general well-being and wellness. And chiropractors, we do tend to focus on spinal-related conditions. I have a personal interest as well in treating kind of neonates, newborn babies, as well as pregnant mums. And I take my practice right up through to kind of older people as well. So I have a lovely amount of variety in what I do and how I do it. But also in the centre, we have acupuncture care, we have sports therapy, we have reflexology and Reiki, we have Jessica Healy of Tree Calm Therapy. She works with us as well. She's a Twitter follower, and she does a lot of bespoke massage work for new mums and mums-to-be. So that's something that's quite unusual in Torbay. We've got other massage provision as well. And so we really have something for everybody. And it's not all about kind of chiropractic care with us. We have the variety of other forms of complementary healthcare too. Something to make everybody feel better, hopefully.
Now, it goes back to the prevention better than cure thing, really. And all the things you've spoken about, sort of making sure your posture's right when you're using a computer, in the car, all the things like that. But
yeah.
If you take simple advice, and people might not, think, oh, I don't need back advice, my back doesn't hurt. If you do all of those things, you're presumably protecting yourself against much longer-term problems.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, a lot of our patients, from a chiropractic perspective, come to us initially because of, well, they've got a problem, they've got some pain. But I would say a lot of our practice, we have a lot of maintenance-based patients who, after getting out of the pain, really don't want to go back there. And a lot of my maintenance patients are hard-working, self-employed people who can't afford to have another week or 2 weeks off work. They want to keep going. They want to keep themselves well. The ethos of chiropractic is all about if you keep yourself well, you generally feel better. You're able to do the exercise that you enjoy doing, and it's about educating people to keep themselves healthy and well, stretching and looking after your spine, which at the end of the day is a fundamental and vital part of our anatomy, which, unfortunately, until it goes wrong, we don't appreciate how important it is. Because if you've ever tried even going to the toilet when you've got a really bad back, you'll know what it's like to have a really sore back.
We've all been there.
Yeah. Also, you know what we're talking about. Yes, coughing and sneezing is a very complicated procedure when you've got back pain.
But in fact, actually, when you've got back pain, it's then just sitting. I mean, even doing my job as a radio presenter, you end up then in severe pain and sort of, I've ended up nearly in tears just sitting there thinking, this is just agony.
And I suppose the difficulty with your job is that you can't get up and move around too much. You're sort of tied to the microphone.
That's right.
I can imagine quite a lot of it. No, I mean, the key really is that, back pain isn't inevitable. I mean, although I think 70% of us at some point in our lives will end up with some form of what we call musculoskeletal problem, i.e. a problem related to our joints and muscles, there is absolutely something that you can do about it. I think we're very used to kind of taking ibuprofen and other sort of over-the-counter medications like that when we've got a niggle or an ache. But when it's going on, and you're constantly having to take your ibuprofen, there really is a sort of, well, let's do something about this. You don't have to live like this. You don't have to. It doesn't matter how old you are. You don't have to accept that pain and discomfort is an inevitability. And, not obviously just with a chiropractic kind of point of view. There are other things that kind of people in the clinic look after, like stress and inability to sleep and all of these other things, which you don't just have to think, well, that's me. I can't do anything about this. There is a solution out there if you go looking for it. It might not necessarily be available on the NHS. Some of it is. But there are other things that you can do to kind of look after yourself.
Brilliant. Phoebe, thank you for being our account of the week. Tell us how we get in touch with you.
So if you want to get in touch with the clinic, you give us a call on Torbay 467 444. And we've got a lovely team of front desk staff who will take your call and query. Or have a look us up on our website, which is www.rivierawellbeing.co.uk, and all the details about all our offers, and there are offers in conjunction with Back Care Awareness Week that you can find online there. So the website should give you all the information you need.
Give us your Twitter handle as well, handle tag, whatever it's called.
It's Riviera Phoebe, which is PHOEBE. I didn't think that through when I did my my Twitter tag.
Wow.
Having my name that no one can spell.
Well, there you go. Anyway, listen, thank you so much for being our account of the week.
Thank you very much.
Good luck with Back Care Awareness Week, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Excellent, thank you. Take care, bye-bye.
The featured accounts with the Works Torbay. Flexible, affordable workspace. A new way of working and doing business.
Brilliant. So there you go. Helpful tips and advice. And if you want to hear some of that again, by the way, we'll, of course, be making the show available via the YouTube account later on in the week.
Tomorrow night.
It's coming up to 8:15. It is the TorbayHour Radio Show. Welcome along. If you've only just joined us, this is what we do to companion the TorbayHour every week online. It's all about talking and tweeting and promoting business in Torbay and South Devon, which brings us neatly on to our guest this week, which is Maureen McAllister. Welcome to the TorbayHour Radio Show, Maureen.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Now, tell us what you do, because I'm still trying to get my head around this to a certain degree.
You're trying to get your head around it. I'm trying to get my head around it too. Well, my day job is that I'm a tourism consultant, so I work with lots of destinations and tourism businesses on their marketing and their business plans. But the great bit of my job is actually working with local businesses and destinations on their tweeting. So I either manage their accounts for them, or I play on their accounts with them, or I just help them to make sure that they get their strategies right.
Now, this is interesting. We had Matt, who was our social media consultant, in a few weeks ago, and we were very much concentrating on the smaller business who's probably the guy that's on his own and is just thinking about their strategy and starting up their social media profile. Now, this takes it to a whole nother level. If you're operating on behalf of other people, presumably you have to get your mind inside their business.
And yes, and sometimes I have to get my mind inside a caveman outfit as well when I talk about my beautiful Cavog, because he can't do that all on his own, and he really does need me. So he tries very hard.
He's got fat fingers.
He's got very fat caveman fingers. So I just go in occasionally and make sure that he does things properly. I then have to get my head inside the very, very little people at the model village to make sure that they're all doing and saying the right thing. And sometimes they can't even hold a mobile phone because they're so small.
Shocking.
So I know, so I have to help them too. And then there are big sheep in North Devon that have some help from me now and again.
No fingers.
They don't tweet, they bleat. And there are several destinations, and one of the ones that I'm most proud of is the work that I do with Southwest UK. So we tweet on behalf of all of the destinations to make sure that we've got a good profile out there.
So it's all tourism related. You don't sort of do something for some kind of biochem research company as well? Or...
Oh, that's a thought, isn't it? That would be fun, wouldn't it? I'd like to sit and read their website to get inside what they do. It wouldn't really matter, honestly, what business it was. As long as you understood the business, and as long as you had the content, and as long as you were briefed properly, you can do anything you want. I mean, the beauty of some of the stuff we do with Kent's Cavern, for example, is that Nick Power, who owns Kent's Cavern, does the... Cavog will always say the serious rocks and stuff, so Nick will talk about the serious geopark and whatever. The Kent's Cavern Twitter account will talk about the opening hours and the events that are on, and Cavog is able to then play with them and interact with them. So that's when we say Nick's very clever and very scholarly, and he talks about the geopark, and Cavog talks about rock cakes, and it enables lots of different people to engage with Kent's Cavern on lots of different levels. Now,
this is what I find really interesting is the fact that it's taking it from creating that strategy from a start point and thinking about your profile, and as an individual tweeting on behalf of a business and maintaining the integrity of what you're trying to do and not being silly, to a whole nother level. Because if you're operating with somebody else, you've got to you've got to get inside their business. You've got to get inside their mind and understand their profile. How do you start doing that? Where would you start?
Well, it's knowing the business and knowing the people that you're working with, and the businesses. The most important thing is the business is trusting you. So to start with, if I'm starting off with a new business, I'd probably write the first month's worth of tweets. You know, the standard about the business, the things that the business does, things that the business is interested in, and then occasionally I would say, look, guys, it's #TorbayHour. This would be a really good time for us all to dive in and do a bit of work in there, and I'd show them how we could do it. And then, so I tend to do that, and then after a while, I get let loose. And that's when I'm at my happiest. And the thing is, it is that trust. It's that absolute trust that the businesses know that I respect their business more than anything. And I mean, I've spent time up at the Model Village climbing onto the models to take pictures so that I can tweet them for a specific campaign that's coming up. So I know there's going to be a campaign about, I don't know, it was National Doodle Day, and I needed some pictures of the little people doing doodles. So I was climbing onto the stands there to take some pictures, and I got reported to the reception desk because there's a mad woman climbing on your displays, and they had it was okay, I was allowed to do that. But it's actually understanding the business and making sure that you maximise every opportunity for them, and I tend to do that. So they get an alert to tell them if there's something big happening, and then we all work together to make the most of it.
So that's kind of the ultimate moment of trust, is when you get the password to their Twitter account.
Well, a lot of them, I set them up and I gave them their passwords. So yes,
oh, okay.
yeah.
Right, excellent.
That's what I do.
Right, well, we're going to delve into that a little bit more. And as ever, what we do on the Torbay Hour as well is try and promote some of the music that is originated in Torbay and South Devon. There is such a vibrant music scene in this part of the world. We want to shout about it. So wherever you are listening in the world, you will experience some of the cream of the crop of the music. Now, obviously the thing from that is we need a source of it. So if you're in a band, maybe you're a singer, we want original material, stuff which is being created. Feel free to get in touch with us and we can play it on the show each week. Now, the band The Simmertones we have heard from before. They record here at the Music Mill and they've been on radio, they've been on press right across the world with the single which I'm going to play now. I want to say duet, but we can't. It's not really a duet with Doris Day. It's a collaboration with Doris Day.
Sounds good enough.
So what you're going to hear is actually the Simmertones with actual lyrics from Doris Day from their single Perhaps, Perhaps, Perhaps. This is absolutely fantastic. And remember where you heard it first. Fantastic. Simmertones and Perhaps on the Torbay Hour radio show. Good evening. It's Rick, it's Martin, it's Maureen. We're all in the studio. We're being healthy this week, actually. A, we have no cake. Secondly, we've been talking about back fitness and back care.
We're doing well this week.
And I'm sitting more up straight. I'm very lucky. I've got a very nice chair with a big headrest and I can sit properly upright.
Yeah, I've got a little chair, but I've been walking around. We're fine.
Yeah.
Stretching.
So tell me what's going on then on the feed this week.
Okay, so we have 2 competitions this week, one of which is ours.
Okay.
So the first one, ours. If you are a bridezilla, if you know of a bridezilla and you want to go to the wedding show at West Point this Saturday, drop us a DM, drop us a message, and we can get that organised for you, courtesy of @HeidiBrideMag. She's given us 3 pairs of tickets to give away. We've given away 2 so far this evening. And so there's another one there, so get in quick, really.
Define bridezilla.
Bridezilla is that woman that's getting married soon, and all she can talk about is her wedding. Everything relates back to her wedding, and her wedding is the centre of the universe.
But it is.
I know.
Are you a married man?
Yes.
Well, then you know you are in so much trouble now.
My wife was a...
Oh, my...
The second one,
Can you have a groomzilla?
you can have a groomzilla, but they're a lot rarer, I think.
Are they? Oh, okay.
So that's for the ladies. For the
Something
guys,
For the ladies, right, okay.
so for the guys, we've got at Bricks Phil. He's one of the Bricks and Rugby Club guys, and he's giving away tickets to this Saturday's match.
All right.
So get in touch with him, see how you get that, because it's a great prize. I won it a couple of weeks ago.
Cavog, you see, Cavog's a caveman. You're one step up, aren't you? There's so many women watch rugby. It's a massive sport for, and you could say it's something for the guys.
I'm the troglodyte. I'm the troglodyte Phoebe mentioned earlier.
Oh my goodness.
I have just seen on Twitter that Cavog's not very happy with him, saying he's got fat fingers as well. So
Oh my.
Sorry,
he's-
Cavog.
He's losing friends all over the place
Oh
tonight.
no,
I'd say it's me and accountants a couple of weeks ago, and then
it's me and everyone this week.
So listen, run through that again. So we've got a pair of tickets to go to the wedding show.
So we've got a pair of tickets to go to the wedding show on Saturday, and
Yep.
while the wife does that, the guys can get in touch with Bricks Phil, and he can go watch the rugby.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Hey,
Right, so what do we...
all the guys can go to the wedding, and the girls can go to the rugby.
There you go.
I'm not sexist.
Okay.
I don't mind either way.
So now tell it. So we get in touch by sending us a DM. What do we got to do?
Send us a DM for the wedding for the wedding tickets, and for the rugby tickets, go follow Bricks Phil,
And you're going to draw somebody out at random.
and he'll draw. Yeah, we will. And we'll get that
Marvellous,
sorted.
marvellous. Simple as that. So what else have we got then? Aside from competitions, what's flying in? What are we discussing tonight on the Torbay Hour?
Well, looks like I've got a lot of kissing and making up to do, but that's a good thing. At Stress Check have been on.
Not with that breath, it's not.
Not with my breath.
No, the burger breath.
When you kiss, brain releases chemicals which improves your mood.
Oh, okay.
So
right.
while I'm kissing and making up, although my breath smells today, I do apologise, your mood will be improved because your brain is releasing chemicals.
Right. Do you believe a word of that, Maureen?
No, I'm just staying away from the burger breath at the moment.
Right, so aside from kissing and making up and burger breath, what have we got?
We've also got Gifts You Grow. At Gifts You Grow are on, sticking with the wedding thing. They do wedding favours with a difference.
Ah.
So if I've not upset you, you haven't turned off, and you are a bridezilla, get in touch with At Gifts You Grow, and you might be able to do a few more bits for your wedding today as well.
Hello and good evening to the guys from Disco Junction. They're regulars, aren't they, of course?
Yeah.
Also, we got the Million Me crew who were in last week on the show. Good evening to you, listening, I know. If you're a first-time listener to the show, welcome along. It's all about being involved, being interactive. And if you'd like to come in and be a guest on the show, we'd love to hear from you.
Definitely.
So if you want to talk about your business, what you do, also if you've got some hints and tips and advice, we're building up a kind of catalogue, a directory of people that we can call on for advice. So we've got obviously social media, we've got accountants, we've got a lawyer we've had in as well. So if you have a question that you would like to ask one of our experts, then feel free to get in touch and we can get in touch with them. We can get them on the phone or something like that as well. Any new accounts that are coming through?
I haven't spotted any new accounts, but we have got a returning account in at Ponticello IT.
Ah, good evening.
She's been away for a long time, but they're back.
Karina is there.
Friend of yours.
Indeed, absolutely. Yes. Nice to hear from Karina on there again. So, get in touch. We can say hi to you. And, of course, if you want to stay in touch wherever you are in the world, you can listen online and we will be tweeting frantically the links. A chance to listen again via the YouTube channel as well. We're coming up to 8:30. I can't believe how quickly these hours go. I really can't. It's time for one of these.
The 140-second pitch. Sponsored by Torbay Discount Card. Torbay's community discount card.
Okay, the 140-second pitch. What we do with this, it's quite simple, really. The concept of the 140 characters in Twitter has been brought on to 140 seconds on the radio to pitch your business. It's as easy as that. However, 140 seconds, it's quite a long time. It's 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Suddenly, 140 seconds sounds like that.
Yeah.
2 minutes 20. Different ball game.
Be prepared.
Pitch yourself in 140 seconds. It's time for the first of our pitches this week, which the honours go to the
Kingsbridge Inn.
Kingsbridge Inn, which I'm struggling to say. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Right, your 140 seconds starts now.
The Kingsbridge Inn. We're the oldest pub in the medieval Devon town of Totnes. With its slate floors, low ceilings, quaint fireplaces, it exudes character and atmosphere. Everything you'd expect from a traditional old English. We offer superb homemade food and have an excellent front-of-house staff who'll make you feel at home with their warm, relaxed and friendly welcome. Service is attentive but discreet and nothing is too much trouble. New chefs have recently been appointed and are already building on the high standards previously set by their forerunners. In fact, we have just received the Taste of the West Gold Award in the dining pub category. The pub business is not an easy one to be in, so in addition to providing our customers with delicious food and a fully stocked and characterful old bar, we also host a wide and varied range of entertainment events, from regular live music acts to poetry nights, tango nights, even dance classes. And we host the Arts Hub Social Club once a month, where local artists meet up to paint and draw and share their passion for art with each other. These events take place in our superb function room known as the Piano Bar. This private room, set apart from the rest of the old pub, is the ideal space in which to hold an event of your own, whether it is a family celebration, like a birthday party, wedding anniversary or retirement do, or whether you're simply a large group of friends wanting to meet for dinner. It is also perfect for businesses to book for a meeting and can comfortably host up to 50 people or more. Catering is available for any of your business needs, so just call us to discuss your particular requirements and we'll be delighted to help. In fine weather, we also have a lovely decked sun terrace on which to enjoy our fresco dining or simply to relax with a drink and friends. Where are we? We're in Totnes, right at the top of the town. If you're walking up 4th Street, you carry on through what's called the Narrows with all its delightfully original and quirky shops and onto Rutherford Square. If you cut across on the diagonal, you pick up Leechwell Street. Turn right and there you'll see our sign, beyond which you'll find our pub, the oldest pub in Totnes, the Kingsbridge Inn. We look forward to sharing this wonderful place with you soon.
Fantastic. You did that with 10 seconds to spare, Rob.
Really? Bloody marvellous.
You are a professional.
Excellent.
Thanks for doing your 140-second pitch.
You're welcome indeed.
Marvellous. Thank you, Rob. The 140-second pitch, though, that's how easy it is. If you would like to get 140 seconds to promote your business, all you need to do is get in touch. Now, you can send us a message, obviously, during the hour, right the way through the week. You could send you a direct message as well.
You can do, yep.
Easy as that. The 140-second pitch.
The 140-second pitch. Sponsored by Torbay Discount Card. Torbay's community discount card.
It is the TorbayHour Radio Show. We're talking and tweeting business. For an hour, we do it every Monday evening between 8 and 9 o'clock. And the hours just go faster and faster.
You seem to be.
Yeah, Maureen. Now, Maureen McAllister is our guest. You haven't told us your direct Twitter tag yourself.
It's at McAllister & Co.
At McAllister &
Yes,
Co.
it is.
So what are the
That's one of them anyway.
Well, yeah.
That's the one I'm sharing tonight.
Okay. So what are the boundaries that you work, geographical boundaries that you work in? My favourite tweets are when I'm on the banks of Loch Fyne. So Right.
a beautiful B&B up in Scotland, which is at Ballymenoch. Everybody should follow it, even though it's not in Torbay. So that's beautiful because the images that we can tweet from there are fantastic. A nice little B&B in Nottinghamshire. Obviously, I spend a lot of time in the Forest of Dean and the Wye Valley at the moment, but I have a different Twitter account for when I'm there. And obviously, anywhere around Southwest England that I'm working with destinations, then I have at Southwest UK that I'll tweet from.
Now, especially with tourist destinations and things like that, do you find it's imagery which attracts people to tweets more than just text or special offers and things like that?
I think it's definitely really good image. There's a fantastic thing on a Friday. I'm going to sound like such an anorak tonight. There's a fantastic thing on a Friday called #FryPhotos. And every week they give you the theme and you tweet into the theme. So this week it was pets, which was fantastic for my B&B in Scotland because they've got a beautiful black Labrador and they took pictures of him swimming in the loch and it was just tweeted around the world. So images are really good, but images linked to a hashtag or a particular theme really make a difference. During the World Cup, we had images of Cavog ready for any result of the England games. So we had him cheering, we had him crying, we had him putting his head in his hands. So
that was the one that you were using all the time.
Well, exactly. Yeah. And we were ready then for anything that would happen during any of the World Cup games. So if we missed a shot, then we could tweet the picture of Cavog with his head in his hands. If we scored, which I'm not sure we did that often, we could do pictures of Cavog cheering. And we just made sure that we've got images ready for really critical events that we want to tweet into. We do that, and I do that with all of my businesses. So I'll alert them that things are going to be happening. I get the images from them and then I can tweet it. But just basically, I mean, one of my favourite things is at Vic's Bricks. I get a beautiful picture of her walk to work every morning. I love to see that. And, you know, you get used to people tweeting images and nice images. If you get a really good image, people will retweet it because that's what people want to show and share.
And I guess this goes back to it's that whole fundamental thing about planning what you're going to do. So with something you're talking about, that obviously took a fair amount of pre-planning, probably weeks, if not before?
Yes, probably weeks.
It was tight. It was 5 minutes, wasn't it?
Probably weeks. Yes.
Okay, right.
Yes.
Probably
no,
weeks.
We have the conversations, but a lot of the time you have got a lot of these images on your bank. So if you see something happening, you can go back into images. But it's really good to be able to see something and tweet it straight away, and to be in the moment, and to show people where you are, what you're doing, what you're enjoying, and that's what people like to see. So, you know, I tweeted an image of this radio station today, and that gets lots of tweets because people like to see it. The other thing was I didn't use all of my 140 characters, so I made it easy for people to retweet and comment on if they want to, and that's something that we need to think about as well. Just because you've got 140 characters, you don't have to use them all.
Is it sometimes the case you just tweet the picture and no comment at all, or?
I think that would be quite wasteful, she says in her best Twitter mom voice. It would be quite wasteful because you want to really let people know where it is and what it is. And so even if you just put sort of hashtag Torquay Harbour or hashtag I don't know, Brixham or whatever, at least you're giving an identifier for people, and then it means that if you're benefiting from having lots of followers, then people will see what you're saying. But if you haven't got lots of followers, then people will be picking up the keywords in your tweet. So I think it's always better to put a word or to tag people in the picture, because you can start to tag people now. So if you wanted somebody to see it, you could actually tag them into the picture, and there's a lot of businesses who are being really effective doing that at the moment.
This is a whole new world now. You've just said several things there which I were completely unaware of.
It's just too exciting, isn't it?
Well, it is. It is. Bearing in mind that we're companioning a Twitter hour, we need to know about this. And how do you find out? I mean, you said there about picking up keywords in tweets. I had no idea you could do that.
Well, I have. I am going to sound such an anorak. I have my tweet deck, and I have keywords that I'll be searching for, whether it's to do with particular businesses. So, because I tweet for very tiny tweets is a model village, and obviously they would be very tiny tweets. But people may say, if they couldn't find out what their @name was, they may just say we went to in Babbacombe. So I have a search on my tweet deck that will say Model Village, and I will then pick up any tweet that anybody tweets that has the word Model Village in it.
Now, is that something which Twitter will do, or you have to get a third-party app to be able to do that?
No, I just do it on TweetDeck.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah, so and I can, if I'm out and about with my phone, I can just search on my phone. So I'll always be searching on my phone. Obviously, not when I'm working very hard.
Of course.
I will be searching on my phone to see if any of the keywords that I want have come up. So
goes back to what Sophie was saying last week when she searches for Brixham.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So it's exactly the same thing, and it really works.
Right.
And it's using a consistent hashtag. I love Brixham, because Brixham, everybody in Brixham uses that hashtag Brixham or mentions Brixham. Nobody wastes a tweet where Brixham's concerned. And I think, you know, if there was a ranking for the towns in Torbay, you know, Brixham's in the Premiership at the moment.
The other thing you mentioned, that's presumably because there's obviously much more of a close relationship between Twitter and Facebook these days. But tagging photos in tweets and people's faces.
No, well, one thing I really want to say is that there may be a close relationship between Twitter and Facebook, but it's two different languages. So if anybody is listening to this show and you have got your Twitter account linked to Facebook, so your tweets are going onto Facebook, can you please stop it? And vice versa, because it's a completely different language. The number of times I just have in my Twitter feed, I posted a picture to Facebook, I posted a picture to Facebook.
Oh, that drives me mad.
Yeah, really, it's two different languages. So the best thing to do is to have them both separate. and then to do a tweet that says, I've just loaded up a fabulous album about images of Brixham to Facebook and the link to Facebook. Really think about your audience when you're tweeting. But in terms of tagging, if you put a photograph onto a tweet, it will then enable you on the app to actually tag different accounts into that tweet if you wanted to.
Is that just using the @ symbol and their names?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Easy
It's
as
just
that.
so easy, isn't it? And people are wasting some of these fantastic opportunities because they're sending out brilliant photos, and you find it's really hard to retweet them because they've used too many characters or they haven't mentioned some people in them. And with the Southwest UK one, I try never to miss an image that comes through because I want to share how beautiful this part of the world is, this part of the country is. So, the more you can make it easy, A, find you, and B, retweet you, the better.
Brilliant. I want to explore that more in a moment. I'm going to play the next of our songs. If you want to get in touch, if you've got a question for Maureen, if you've got a question for us, or you just like to say hello, then you can do that. The easiest way is via the hashtag TorbayHour, which is as simple as that. Quickly, before we play a song, what have we got coming in? Has anyone won this competition yet?
I don't think anyone's won it just yet, so I must have upset them all and they've all turned off. But there's some good things happening tonight, actually. Living Coasts have got a fantastic job opportunity for an animal keeper.
Oh, right, excellent.
So they're tweeting about that tonight. So if you know someone that wants to work with animals, then that's definitely something worth looking into.
And we've looked at recruitment and using Twitter for doing recruitment before, actually, and we'll do that again. In fact, maybe we should get a recruitment consultant in one week. That would be a great one. We'll work on that. Right, time for another song. This one from Charlotte Ward. This is called Stay Here.
When were we ever real? It was always on the sidelines, and I miss our memories of days gone by, miss our days. What did we hope to find? All those thoughts of ours lead us blind, and I miss our calls, our midnight talks, and miss our talks, miss our talks. Stay here, darling, don't break the lonely road alone. Stay here, darling, risk the heartbreak from above. And stay here, darling, this isn't just for fun now, or just for fun. Lost track of time and I lost, remembered why I missed all your hints. I miss the ache your heart supplied, your heart supplied. Stay here, darling, don't break the lonely road alone. Stay here, darling, risk the heartbreak from above. Stay here, darling, this isn't just for fun now, or just for fun. We won't fall just for fun. Just for fun.
Got an incredible voice, isn't she? Charlotte Ward, and that's called Stay Here. It's the TorbayHour Radio Show. It's 8:45 on Monday, the 6th of October. I can't believe it's the 6th of October already. I mean, October's a big month. There's Halloween just around the corner, and I guess you, Maureen, must have got all kinds of marketing things that happen for Halloween, especially with the Model Village.
Absolutely. I mean, what's great is we can tweet the video clips that we've got. But my favourite thing is all the pictures of the leaves and the changing, the different colours of all the leaves, and it's those places that make it easy for you to take the pictures of them looking particularly beautiful and then tweet it while you're there. It's the places that have got open Wi-Fi, or where you can get a 3G signal. So as soon as you see something like a couple of pumpkins that look pretty cute and you want to tweet it, you can actually access it to be able to do that.
And actually, that's something I must admit, I've been to hotels all over the world where they are in stunning locations, and you then go, right, I'd really like to tweet a picture of this, and it's now pay £19.95 and you can have access for 24 hours. And that does my head in.
Don't get me started on that. But the thing is, what they forget is that obviously they've got people staying in their hotels that are active on social media. I stayed in a hotel in London a couple of weeks ago, and I walked in and the bed was so bad it looked like there was a dead body in it. And they'd already annoyed me at reception because they'd said that I had to pay £9.50 for Wi-Fi. So I took pictures of the room and I tweeted it. And I was moved quite quickly to a better room. But it's realising that these sorts of things are going to go on, and there's a lot of businesses as well that say, oh, we're not on Twitter, we don't like that. But your customers are on Twitter and they're talking about you, and if you're not on Twitter, you don't know what they're saying and you can't respond to them. So yes. Now,
we were talking off air about recruitment, and as soon as I mentioned it, you were like, oh yeah, this is fantastic for recruitment and for getting work as well, and you've had experience of doing that.
Yeah, my latest contract is in the Forest of Dean and the Wye Valley, and I saw the link for the contract on Twitter, and I linked through to it and applied for it. Yeah.
And I guess that from either a recruiter's point of view or for business, it's free. You've got your advert with global exposure instantly for free.
Absolutely, and if you get the hashtags right, so obviously mine was in the tourism game, so hashtag tourism, hashtag marketing, but also using LinkedIn, you can put sort of information about your business on LinkedIn, and I just don't think that people are perhaps using it as much as they can do sometimes. And when it is done well, it's just genius. And I obviously need to get out more because I do find it all really exciting. I just think it's fantastic when you see somebody's done it really well and they've done it across Facebook, Twitter and LinkedIn, all different languages, and Pinterest or whatever.
But I was going to say, you're introducing so many different things, and by the time you've got your LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, you've done a couple of Vine video clips, and then you've thrown in some other things which I have no idea what they are because they probably don't exist yet. But the amount of time that you're spending doing this is I mean, time is money, quite literally, with business, isn't it? So how long would you spend? I mean, we were talking before we came on air tonight, and we were saying that you spend around about 20 minutes an evening. But if, that's then eating into family time, isn't it? You're then into it being several hours a week. So you've taken your 40-hour working week and all of a sudden it's a 42 or 43-hour working week.
40 hours, I don't get that much time off,
okay,
no.
But...
no, it's planning. You're absolutely right, but it is planning. So I write all of my tweets in advance for my businesses, so I know what I'm going to say and I schedule them, so I can schedule them all in. I then can interact with people, so that brings down a lot of the time. It means that you've already sort of set the scene for your business, and then you can go back in and interact with people. I do spend time in the evening, but there's a lot of people these days that are watching the television via Facebook, what their friends are saying. You can't sit with all your mates in a room and watch the X Factor if they're all over the country.
Sure.
But you can follow what they're all saying on Facebook. So you're never away from that kind of family time. You've just got another in my case, 3,900 people in the room with me while I'm tweeting with my family.
It's lucky you're not providing the nibbles, isn't
well,
it?
exactly.
Well,
yes, or the wine.
Well,
yes,
indeed,
no.
yes.
So but the thing is as well, there are a lot of platforms out there that everybody can use, and they're all free. But it's making sure you use the ones that you can manage and that are right for your business. There's no point in being on Pinterest if none of your customers are on Pinterest. So,
I've not even heard of that. Talk me through that.
Well, it's basically, it's like a scrapbook. You pin pictures and information on it. It's great for me because I do some lecturing and I work with students, so I can pin infographics to particular subjects that they have. Or if I'm working with a business that wants some mood boards about how their self-catering properties could be designed or how they could look, I could do a mood board about that. But it just depends on the business and it depends on where the customers are. So one of the things I always do with my businesses that I work with is say, where are your customers? And if your customers are in a certain area of social media, then that's where you should be. Don't be over here busily pinning things on pin boards if none of your customers are there.
Good point, because I guess, the one which has been left behind by all of this is MySpace, isn't it? Because that was the thing. One of the first ones, MySpace, but I don't hear anyone using MySpace now.
I think that was long before I was involved in social media. And anyway, I think that was
there you go. See, I'm an old man.
Years ago.
I'm an old man.
No. I was just I was a slow learner on this game. But it's it's true. There are things dipping in and dipping out all the time. And like Instagram, we've talked about images and using images on Twitter, but people are really into Instagram. And one of the problems with that is people tweet their Instagram pictures.
It drives me mad.
So you have to then go into those pictures to see what they are.
But it takes 15 times longer to load from Instagram.
But if you're on Instagram yourself, you'd see them easily. So again, it's making whatever you're doing as easy as possible for people to see your message and to engage with your message.
But do you feel, this is a technical question, that as bandwidth is more available to us, certainly on mobile devices with 4G and stuff like that, the social networks almost give us the excuse to fill it up, because it's all of a sudden it's moved on from being Twitter, which was 140 characters of text and it was quick and it was simple, to all of a sudden now we can post high definition video and it's very easy to get it on our mobile phones, and we just sort of push it and push it and push it until it will fall over again, and then the next thing will happen and the next thing will happen.
Well, I love Twitter, and I like its simplicity. I like the quickness of message. The things that you learn, in the middle of the night if you can't sleep and you look onto Twitter, the things that you can wake up in the morning and say, did you know this happened last night, or did you know that? Because it's quick and it's easy, and I think it's good. It's not good. I can't believe I'm going to say this. It's good for our brains, but when our brains are taking in so much information, it's giving you what you need to know, and then giving you the opportunity to look more. So that high definition video, if the introduction tweet had been interesting enough, I might have a look at it. But if it's not interesting, then I'm not going to look. So just saying I've just posted a video is not interesting to me.
No.
I've posted a video of hashtag TorbayHour doing tequila shots. I might go and have a look at. It's those
I'm up for that.
it's making whatever you're directing people to interesting to them.
And it's a whole new skill set, isn't it? Because what we're really talking about is people who are, I guess 19 years old becoming headline writers for tabloid newspapers.
It's not. It's anybody, isn't it?
Well,
it's
yeah,
anybody.
exactly.
But thank you for thinking I'm 19 years old. That's very kind of you. I have clearly got a face for radio. But
you fit in well.
Yes.
Welcome.
But it's everybody making sure that they're writing it to capture attention, and that's what's really important.
Yeah, and that's, to be honest, that was the only reason I think I got involved in Twitter in the first place, was because it was so succinct and you weren't going to get these sort of massive rambling messages, and the fact that it was controlled as well. And I like that, I must admit. I do. Right, what's going on, Martin? What's coming in tonight? We need new accounts to be joining the happy family that is TorbayHour.
Well, I've got a couple. There you go.
Good.
So, firstly, at TNS Framing, they are traditional timber-framed house builders in Torbay. So give them a follow. That sounds really interesting. I'd like to see more from them. At Bosley's Dog Grooming, they're in Brixham. They're opening up. They've got 10% off their first groom. And we've got a new one at CKO Disco. I said that like a really cheesy DJ. At CKO Disco. They're a new one. James spotted them earlier, so he's pointed them out to me too.
I like the poems that the Paint and Poet keeps throwing, and a few other people having goes at poems as well.
He must get loads sent to him.
Absolutely, yeah. Now, we started the hour, we were talking about cake, and there were actually a few pictures of cake coming in as well, which we've kind of glossed over, or glazed over.
Glazed over.
Yeah.
Sugar glazed.
Well, that's exactly where I was going with that.
I know, I'm just a bit more obvious.
Joke. Now, we had a competition as well we've had this week. Have we got any winners on that?
Well, nobody sent me a DM, so...
What?
And on that, sorry, darling, everyone's been tweeting my wife and telling her that I called her a bridezilla. So if that was you, then I'm very upset with you. And love you, darling.
You are in so much trouble.
I'm
really
in so
are.
much trouble.
And actually, what you kind of highlighted there actually is the accountability. And this is something which is really important, because Martin's being grassed up tonight that he said something funny. Dangerous.
Dangerous.
When was that?
No,
Yeah. Define
something
funny.
dangerous. So instantly he's held to account for it, and that actually translates exactly into the business world as well, doesn't it? You say the wrong thing, and instantly people will jump on you from anywhere in the world.
Yes, but remember that not everything is malicious that people do when they do it wrong, and there is a delete button on Twitter, which I would encourage a lot of people to use.
Right.
And unfortunately, people don't do that as much as they should. I think I always say to my business, alcohol and Twitter don't go together. Alcohol and social media should always be kept apart, because it's just too easy sometimes to say things that you probably wouldn't normally say. And to remember that whatever you're saying on Twitter, it really should be from you. So it should be your tone of voice and the way that you would speak to people normally. And none of us are horrible people. So why would you put something in a tweet that wasn't very nice? But he did deserve to be grassed up, frankly.
Well, he did, yeah.
Hashtag just saying, he deserved it.
Hashtag I'm in trouble.
But it's also remembering that you may be mentioned in a tweet because somebody might be having a conversation about you. I went to New York recently with @Deirdre Devon, in case she's listening, and we tweeted just to say that we were having a great time. We'd been on the High Line and we didn't know, we were just planning what to do next. And Nick Powell tweeted us from Torquay and said, go to the Tenement Museum. And what we were still looking on the map to see where it was when the Tenement Museum tweeted us and said, we'll see you soon. And that's how it should be used. It's that live, real-time engagement with potential customers.
And that's the immediacy of it. I think more than any of the other social networks which I've dabbled in is that immediacy. I tweeted a picture tonight of the crane that's putting in the bridge at the Penning roundabout. And my comment with that is the roundabout is never going to look the same. Quite literally, when you were there tonight and the roundabout was just a roundabout, tomorrow morning you're going to go to work and there's going to be a bit of a flyover going over. And it will always be there.
It's fantastic, isn't it? And it's fantastic that you can capture these images. And I mean, we see things all the time, and I'm always saying to my son, quick, let's get a picture of this, because we want to be able to show people what it is we're seeing.
Absolutely, and it instantly turns us into photojournalists as well. And I'm terrible, because I'll look at something and take the picture and go, the angle's wrong on that.
I've got 3 editing apps on my phone.
Oh, this is getting terrible. Listen, it's quite scarily. We're running out of time already. You're going to have to come back and see us.
I'll be delighted.
Brilliant. So listen, tell us about your business again. How do we get in touch with you? Tell us what you do. You've got 140 seconds. But
Oh, gosh, I'm a tourism consultant, so I work with tourism businesses to make sure that they are doing the best that they can do and that they're as profitable as they can be. On the social media side, I can work with you to develop your Twitter accounts. I can hold your hand. I can help you get your tweets prepared. I can help you get your Facebook pages set up, and I can make sure that you make a real impact in the Twitter sphere.
Brilliant. Twitter sphere. I like. Oh dear.
Thank you. That's
the
mine.
Twitter sphere.
You've got a new one. There you go.
Hashtag.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for coming in. Next time we need food. I'm joking, actually. I'm joking. Martin, to round up quickly tonight. Where have we gone actually online? What's happening in the Twitter sphere that is the Torbay Hour?
Right, so if you enjoyed the Simmertones earlier, they're actually playing at the Barrel House in Totnes on Friday the 17th. At Macmillan Devon, they're looking for help to organise a mini music festival next year. So
right, okay.
They're also looking for somebody to edit a video for them. So if that's anything you can help with, then
I can actually. I'll get in touch with them.
Oh, well, there you go then. And at Nomad LED have been on promoting his screen on the dual carriageway on the ring road there. So
right, looking forward to seeing that.
There's been loads happening tonight. It's been really, really busy. It's been great.
So
loved it.
Nomad, one of our 140-second tweets, 140-second accounts.
One of the best, I think you'd agree.
Really good. Yeah. Yes. Right, thank you so much for listening. If you want to listen again, get some tips and advice from Maureen, then you can do that via the YouTube channel. We will be posting that up there tomorrow evening by the time you've normally had a burger and been beaten up by the wife, isn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's about right. We will catch you again next Monday night at 8 o'clock.
The TorbayHour Radio Show, brought to you by the Babacom Inn Christmas Party Nights.